What's up? I'm Noelle at Noelle's Notions, and this is Fame by the Flame with DJ 2Ra.
What's up, everybody?
So DJ 2Ra, let's get into this. So first off, I love the name. It already sets the stage, I think, for your performance.
Yeah, definitely. I got that actually. Some of my friends in high school had a Facebook group called Too Easy Crew. Shout out to Markel, Saran, and Oyo. And I basically was gonna be DJ Too Easy, and I was like, I don't know, it doesn't.
You're like, I'm not that easy.
So I literally sat there with a paper and wrote out 4 names, and then crossed out 2, and then I sent them the other 2 in the group chat, and then that was the one we all kind of decided.
Awesome. So it was a group collaboration from the start, then, right?
Yeah. Before that, it was lame. It was DJ JD. That's my initials.
Okay.
So I thought it was super clever. I'm 14 years old. Yeah, I'm gonna be DJ JD, and it just wasn't. Nah.
Well, so you've obviously been doing music then since you were kind of in your preteen stage, right?
Yes.
And so how did that come about?
My father, actually. My dad does IT, and so he's really tech savvy with laptops and stuff. He has a love for music. I mean, he put me on a lot of stuff most people's dads wouldn't. The first time I had heard Lil Boosie smoking on Purple, my dad played that. Yeah, first time
Shout
I
out
heard.
to Pop song.
Right. Yeah, so he got tired of me asking him to play certain songs at all the family events, and so he showed me how to do it like a dad should do.
Yeah.
And then eventually I liked doing it. I had a house party in Antelope, California, 95843. We don't get enough credit. There's a lot of people you wouldn't think that are from that part of town. So,
yeah.
So we did that, and it went great. We had to repaint the walls after because the gene prints were on the walls from people dancing.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, there's probably 200 people in my parents' house. So and then we did a second one across town behind Center High School. I went to Antelope, but Center's cool, I guess.
High school rivals, right?
Right. And that one was so lit that people were trying to break through the sliding glass window in the backyard. And so it was me and my partner JoJo. Our birthdays were very close. Shout out to you, Jordan Graham. But yeah, so we had a lot of fun growing up, and then that just trickled into DJ the Hookah Lounge, and then one of my close friends was a promoter for a club called Leilina's that used to be over there off Howe, Arden, and that turned into him wanting Sage to come there, and I knew someone who had his contact information, got in touch with him. They were appreciative of me doing that, and I ended up getting a lot more events from that.
Awesome.
DJ'd for Sage's show at the Gas Pedal Tour in Sacramento at the Colonial Theater.
Yeah.
And,
so it kind of just snowballed, right? From 14 to now, just kind of built up over time.
Yep.
Well, and I was going to say, going back to when you're talking about high school parties and you getting them bumping, I mean, you're no newbie to high school parties. You still are DJing at some high school parties, right? Or high school grads,
it depends,
right?
Yeah. So I do high school, the actual high school, proms and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I did a couple things for some of the northern area high schools in Roseville and so Del Campo, Wood Creek. I DJ for Antelope, which is my old high school.
Yeah.
That was great, and I think that actually helped me become better at that. My activities director, when I was going there, refused to let me DJ for the school because she felt that I would have too much peer influence and play things that she played. And Antelope was a new school. We were the first 4-year graduating class out of there in 2012, so they wanted to really establish a tradition, and it was no cussing. There was a whole no playlist of no.
So it was like wedding YMCA type style
songs.
And
so I didn't even really want to do. That's why I wanted to do it, so I could play what I wanted to play, and she knew that.
Yeah.
So, but when I graduated, she let me. I kept it. It was a good mixture, but it was hard. And so now at these other high schools, they're much more lenient, and I can play as long
I was going to say, I remember my high school days, things get buck wild. It's I can't even imagine nowadays, right?
Yeah. It's a good experience for sure.
So what's your favorite stuff to play? I mean, obviously you're more on the hip hop kind of side, but you're a DJ. So do you kind of play more towards the crowd, or like you said, do you really kind of play what you more vibing with?
A little bit of both. So in the beginning of the event, I actually like to play more of what I like to hear because on a regular basis, right, we're not always partying and stuff in the car. So I like to play, the Nipsey Hussle, the J. Cole, the Big Crit. I mean, a lot of the more intellectual type of hip hop. And then I lead into it. Once people start filtering in the door, you know, you kind of lead into some of the top 40 Chris Brown type stuff.
You know, Yin Yang Twins get low.
Yeah, you know, once you get into it, once everybody gets some alcohol in them, it's over with at that point. You play whatever you want.
Or you mean punch, the spiked punch, right?
Yeah. Yeah, see, but it depends. So for me, like, I get a lot of revenue from the high school events, but I do a lot of clubs as well, and I prefer those.
So let's talk about your performance at the clubs. I mean, obviously, it's a whole different crowd, 21 and over for starters. I think it's really funny because, you know, DJs, like, you guys always have, like, the backstage experience because ultimately it's like, you're performers, but you're not like singing, you know, so you do have like that element of ability to kind of like monitor the crowd and kind of like see everybody else out there, you know. And so I always think it's really funny, like especially DJs at the club who just like, you know, see these things go down, they're like, oh my God, like shake my head, like I can't can't believe that just happened.
Yeah, definitely. I could agree with that. I think another one for me was at a fraternity party that I was DJing. There was a girl fight, and it was, I mean, that's very modestly putting it. There was a lot of, you know, typical hair pulling and things, and you know, some clothes that got ripped off. So it was. So
all the guys just started watching, right? So like,
you know, it was more of a well, actually, y'all go ahead and do what y'all doing then. Y'all go keep on that. Nah, it was very brief, and like I said, I was DJing, so you see, the one thing I can say is in all the fights I've seen in the club, it's interesting being a DJ, especially in the elevated position. You see the way the crowd moves when there's a fight, and so you can't see it all the time, but you can see other people's faces who are watching it, and they're like, oh, phones start coming out. So it can get rowdy sometimes, but it's definitely, you know, it's just part of the energy. It happens anywhere, any place. I mean,
well, and it's like you're gonna have those things happen when you have so many different people in one spot. I mean, different personalities, different crews that people roll with. And you know, speaking of your crew and who you roll with, you're with Alpha Phi Alpha, right?
Yes.
And so, do you want to give us? I mean, I think Greek in life is sick, especially like the whole kind of stepping and stuff like that. I used to step in college myself, so I think it's sick. And you're not a student, but you're still involved with the fraternity. So how did that start out? I mean, how did you guys continue that? I mean, after, like, as an alum, I'm assuming.
So for me, I actually in 5th grade, I met one of my best friends, Nick Torrance. Shout out to you. And between 6th to 8th grade, his father became a member of the fraternity.
Oh, okay.
And they have a program called Alpha Academy at Cosumnes River College that they have every 3rd Saturday of every month, which basically helps to teach young men life skills. I mean, you're looking at learning how to tie ties, or what different jobs are out there, from green tech to, you know, all the new things that are coming out, solar energy, all that type of stuff, learning what types of career paths you can take. They bring different people in, I mean, from, you know, law enforcement to, you know, Dr. Alan Rowe, who helps out with a lot of the HBCU things. And it just becomes an environment of family. And so I was introduced to that at 8th grade when I was, you know, 12 years old. And so growing up, I mean, I never really associated the stomp the yard-esque type stuff with the fraternity. All I knew was this is what they did for me growing up. They helped me become a better man. So I knew in the college, like, going in, if I'm going to join a fraternity, that's when I'm joining. And it wasn't until after that I put 2 and 2 together, like, oh wait, like, we got to the end of, you know, of going through our journey to become members, and then it was like, oh yeah, by the way, you guys are gonna have to learn how to step and do this all the time. And
so
I was like, whoa, I can't help the kids. I didn't know that I had to, like, display some rhythmic stuff. Like, I DJ because
you're like, how would I just DJ the songs for our fraternity, and then you guys do all the stuff in.
But they whipped me into shape for sure. You will learn. There's no way around that one. And it was a great experience for sure. I genuinely enjoy those types of things. And Martin Luther King is a member of our fraternity. Once you become a member, you will always be a member. So for me, I didn't graduate from Sac State. I was faced with a decision to continue or go on tour. And at the time, it was the Rise Tour, which was then known as Movie Baby, currently known as T. Carrier, Showbanga, Simba, City Sean, Dame, Hollywood Keefe, I mean, just a ton of great artists.
Yeah.
In our kind of that phase of, I mean, and even DJs, DJ Ghost, DJ Flesh, you know, those guys. DJ Ghost was Thizzler's DJ for a long time, and DJ Flesh is a DJ from Detroit that had come out. He's now in Vegas DJing too. So shout out to those two guys. But it just became an opportunity I couldn't pass up.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I left school and I pursued that. You know, it was good while it lasted, and afterwards it was kind of like, okay, I need to reflect. If I'm not going to be in school, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Like, I need to, if this is what I want to do, I need to really get into this and do this. So I genuinely enjoyed pushing myself to do that.
Yeah.
And I had to embrace now being that college dropout, right? And now I'm not only am I that, but I'm in a fraternity, and where we say, like, you know, we stay up late, but most of all we graduate. You know what I mean? So for me, it like looked bad, but I never joined with the intention of that happening. It's just
I think it's just, you know, life definitely presents you with opportunities and different pathways, and you got to decide what to take. And I mean, you're here now because of the opportunities that you took, right? And so let's talk about, you know, you now in the present as a DJ. So what is your favorite part about being a DJ? Like, obviously, you know, you went down that road for a reason. So
yeah, that's a great question. So you probably have, like, if you watch a sporting event, right? For your favorite sports team, who's your favorite sports team? Do you have one?
Yeah, I do, but they're not like mainstream, probably.
Okay. What are they?
Okay. Well, so for football, Roll Tide, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Okay. That's where I grew up.
That's mainstream. That's Bama. Everyone knows who Bama is.
Well, I know. I mean, they're not for professionals, college.
I understand,
but you know.
Understand.
Yeah, that's definitely my team. And then of course I like the Golden State Warriors for basketball. So.
Okay. You're supposed to be a Kings fan. Come on.
Oh, I mean, yeah, shout out Kings.
I mean, but okay. So when you see, like, so when Mark Ingram was still the running back, right, and they won the championship, right, you get this like rush of this, like, you're not even there, and you still get a feeling like, yes, we did it. When you're DJing, there comes a point in the night where, and all DJs can relate to this, you play a song and the reaction you get from the crowd is so much that you just have to take a step back from the tables for a second and just feel that. You get chills, you get, like, it's a euphoric feeling. And what it is you're witnessing all these people, and everyone in the entire club is happy simultaneously, and everyone's loves the song. They all know the words, and if they don't, they love the beat, and they're like, what is this? And you're realizing that you're becoming a part of creating this memory for all of these people. And they'll always remember that, even if you know, and it's not even a conceited thing. It's even if they don't remember your name, they remember, I went to this place with my friends this night and I had a good time. So no matter what happens in the future, if they fall out or if someone passes away or anything, they remember that. They think back to moments like that in their mind. So it's really a great experience. That's my favorite thing about it.
Well, I was gonna say, it definitely seems like a theme in your life is you really like having an impression on people. I mean, going up from when you said, you know, you're a young boy and now you're in this fraternity, and you got into the fraternity for the fact of, like, you want to teach other young men how to, like, grow up and be, you know, great. And then now as a DJ, you're stepping on the stage because you want to have that mark in those people's lives of, that pivotal moment when they were out with their friends during that time, that pivotal moment they met the love of their life, or, you know, we're just having a good time. Like, I feel like that's maybe at the core of kind of you as a person.
Yes. Yeah, actually. I didn't think of that, but yeah, you're 100% right. And I think I've always had that affinity. Like, when I was in high school on the football team, I wasn't the best player, but I got voted most inspirational because I genuinely took pride in helping those around me and putting those people first, even at times when it became a detriment to myself. So I love that feeling. I mean, and it's not even a matter of if it's reciprocated or not. It's just something that, you know, you feel like you did a good deed. You know?
Well, so you definitely like to leave your mark on this world and influence people to be the best version of themselves. And I can see that leading to a bright future for your DJing career. So where do you see yourself and, you know, down the road? Like, do you still see yourself DJing, obviously, to the same, you know, kind of audience, or you see yourself going back on tour? Like, what does that look like for you?
That's what I would like to be doing. For me, it's like playing, I relate it back to sports all the time, but it's like you play a sport, 1% are going to make it to the major leagues, but everyone wants that. Everyone wants to go. If you don't, you have a backup plan, but your goal is to go there. So, you know, if I could, I'd be DJing, having residencies in Vegas, LA, Miami, Atlanta, New York, all the major cities. And you know, from there you grow your empire. You build a name for yourself, and then you can help other people around you. So whether it's putting together a team of people, an entertainment team, or even just putting together a label, I've never personally dabbled in the idea of putting together a label, but I do like the idea of how it brings people together and it makes them stronger in a sense.
Yeah.
So with DJs, it's harder for us because we're technically all in competition with each other. Even if we're all friends, if one person's the headliner, you can't be the headliner too. Like, you know, you got artists, it's different with music. For instance, Lil Baby got the co-sign from Drake. They got that track, Yes Indeed. It's an amazing song. You listen to it, whether you listen to it because you loved Lil Baby for years or you listen to it because you loved Drake for years, you still listen to both of them.
Yeah.
And so it's not the same when you're DJing.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like layering. I mean, with like a lyricist, it's like you can listen to multiple lyrics at one time, but the beat is still got to be one consistent beat kind of undertoning the whole song. So it's like, yeah, what you're saying, you can't really have two DJs kind of battling out beats, you know, because it's just one overall has to come out on top.
Somewhat. I mean, ideally, if all could compromise and come together, then definitely. That's what, I mean, it becomes a situation where it either has to be a series of events and everyone rotates, who opens, who headlines, or it has to be based on who's put in the most work. So I ran my own promotional company for about a year. Called New Age Promotions, and a lot of people from Sacramento were part of that and helped and were very influential in the way that my career has shaped itself to be, as well as before that I was in a promotional group called Raw Culture when I was a teenager, and those are the first people. But what I did with mine was say, whoever puts up this percentage of the money invested gets that same exact percentage out of the profit. So it's all completely fair. So it would be the same with DJing. You know what I mean? I've never wanted to be the boss of someone. No one likes having a boss. I want to be a part of something that makes everyone equals and everyone's strong.
Have you thought about, you know, you said that you kind of had your own label. Is that what you'd call it? Or like collaborative group? I mean, do you think that you'd go back to that and kind of, now that you're to a point where you have been working with a lot of other DJs, you have been expanding, you've been on tour, you know what it's like to kind of work within a cohesive group. Do you think that you'll maybe open up like another kind of extension of that to bring some more local DJs together? Yeah,
I would love to. I think now at 23, most of the DJs that I know and work with, we're all already in our own kind of lane. So you got like DJ Johnny he's pushing his thing and he's doing great. Those guys are really making a name for themselves. Yeah. And then you have Gio doing his thing with Sage and Hoff. Nico and all of those guys are doing their things with Fame Squad, Oasis, all of those guys. Robbie's getting into it. Joseph One. Like, everyone is talented. And we all, if you've ever had the privilege to listen to all of our sets, we all are very similar because we're from generally the same area. I mean, Johnny's from the Bay, but he did spend a lot of his time here, and he has that influence here as well. So even in his stuff, you see we're all similar, but we have little different niches, little different things we add in here and there. So, you know, you talked about the feelings that you get being a DJ on stage. I always am curious. I find it really amusing to hear DJs kind of going back into their memory and recalling their best or favorite memory from like an event that they performed at. So do you have a couple that you could share with us? I do. One, it was my first big event. It was a Hoff through Halloween's Most Wanted. Oh yeah? Rancho Cordova. Yes. And they didn't really know who I was. I was still finding myself. And I remember seeing my name on the flyer amongst all these DJs and being like, what? I'm about to do this. I go in, there's like probably 700 people in the hip hop room, and everyone's dressed up as Halloween. So, you know, everybody's got their outfits on. And I go on and I start DJing, and everybody's just like going crazy. And then they're like, oh, the other DJ's late. You might just keep going. Yeah. So now I get like a whole nother 30, 45 minutes, and I'm just going and going. And then I remember him getting there, and I'm like, oh. And it was just an amazing feeling. That was back in 2012. I mean, I was and that's right when you graduated, right? Yeah, I was fresh out of high school. I graduated in that May, and then that was Halloween of that year. So I was freshman in college. And then The other one was more recent. It was actually in Fresno.
Okay.
The SOB RBE show. It was SOB and Cuban Doll opened up for them, and a lot of Fresno artists, TNO, those guys, they were great too. But I've been taking a couple notes on some of my favorite DJs, and so I wanted to really like get out of my shell and be confident, because normally I DJ, I'm like, I have a hard time going from here to looking up and interacting with the crowd and dancing and getting on the mic. So I have been practicing that, working on what that would be like, what it would look like and feel like, the right times to do it. It's a real science to DJing.
Yeah, well, you can't miss a beat.
You can't. I mean, you mess up and it's very obvious when the music's blaring loud and you look at the computer like, oh. So it's very obvious. But yeah, so I went out there and you know, I had wore my Chris Webber jersey because I'm from Sac, you know, Sacramento. But and I went out there and I took that whole like moment to just soak it in, and I played T Grizzly first day out, which is like right now it's automatic party record, turn up record.
People lose their minds.
And I told everybody, get your phone lights out. Like I had some water in my hand, and then as soon as that beat dropped, it was water everywhere and everyone screaming and going crazy and phone lights, and that was an amazing experience for me as a DJ, and I got to do that all while representing where I'm from in a different city. We were all the way in Fresno, and I mean, they knew everything that we played. They loved every Sacramento song we played. I mean, from the Mozzie to everything. So those are my two best ones for sure.
That's awesome. Well, and so you talked a little bit about, you know, other DJs that you emulate. Are there any DJs that you'd really want to collab with in the future?
Yeah, I mean, Gio's like an older brother to me. We already in a way do. We're always together. We have some treacherous journeys because I mean, every weekend it's here to SF, and sometimes in SF the clubs are different. I mean, he doesn't start DJing till 1 a.m. It's not over till 3, and then you got to drive back to Sacramento. You don't get home till 5 in the morning. So Gio don't got no bars, he can't drive. You know you can't drive. He'll tell you too. So he is always like, he bought his car with the purpose of not driving it very often and riding it. So it's like, I get to drive this nice, whatever. Like, but we do that. We DJ together a few times. Like I helped him out at Block Pacific too. And he's just someone that I've always looked at as like the DJ from Sacramento that made it. And what I love about his whole grind is he's like, nah, I'm not anywhere near where I want to be. This is nothing. Like to you know, DJ Snake or, you know, Skrillex or any of these guys, Steve Aoki, like we're not doing anything compared to them. So, but he's DJed for tens of thousands of people before. I've DJed for maybe 2,000 max before. So I'm still at a point where I've got years to get to. Maybe not years, but he's got a little bit of age on me, and so I know I can catch up.
Well, shout out to the boy, and Block Pacific was so rad. Shout out Poise Events and all the other affiliates who put that on. That was sick, and I was like, that was such a good time. And I, you know, saw you there, and that's kind of where we interacted. And I'm curious for other fans who want to see you perform, where can they catch you next?
So we actually started. We actually just started Sundays at Streets of London, downtown Sacramento. So we had the first one a couple days ago. It was a great turnout. I mean, amazing turnout. I was happy because I had some Hennessy Pure White. You can't get that in the States. So I waited. I saved it for that day. I was like, this is gonna be a great party. So it's you know, the Sundays for Sacramento. So that'll be pretty much every Sunday. We're gonna wait. We're gonna give it a little time to heat up and probably do it the Sunday after this one coming up. Just to get maybe, you know, a little more, because I've been getting people texting me, bring me with you next time. Like, when does it start? This, that. So it's good. And then June 30th, for my boy Deck, he's having something called Soho at Capitol Garage, and that is going to be dope. Don't miss it.
Awesome. And so June 30th, right?
June 30th. If you want to know what the Soho is, when Drake was talking about it, slide through. We'll show you what it is. You know?
And fans can find all this information and stay connected with you on Instagram, the best way, right?
Yes.
Okay.
At DJ __ the number 2 RAW. 2 underscores because I'm too raw. You know? and I was a Deuce online. Deuce is wild. But yeah, so that Twitter is same handle. I mean, social media is the way of the world now.
Yeah, so. It's like a digital portfolio of like your life, pretty much. Well, I just want to say, DJ Too Raw, thank you so much for being on Fame by the Flame. I really appreciate you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. And as always, Jay, I'm in the labs. You're the bomb. Appreciate you. Well, fans, until next time, I'm Noelle at Noelle's Notions, and this is Fame by the Flame with DJ Too Raw.
Shout out to you, Sacramento.